G'day everyone, welcome to this little surprise live stream tonight. Over on the bench we've got a broken fire bar out of the wood stove, which I'll grab one to show you exactly what it looks like. Righto, so this is the item here, cast iron, and cast iron's a very cheap, easy material to use, but there's a lot of work involved in getting a pattern made and all that sort of stuff. Now most of the time you're going to see me off camera, or you'll only see this here. It's all set up. Righto, so what we're using here are gas welding and brazing rods. These are produced by CIG. Here we are here, and they come in 3 different colours. Now, I've had this for a while. As you can appreciate, cast iron, it's sort of, it's good stuff, but it's terrible. It can be hard to weld, difficult, all that sort of stuff. And over time, it does become very brittle. Now, as I mentioned before, there is a blowhole in here. In fact, I'll tell you what, I'll change this, I'll pick it up and we'll show you, because I've got my bits set up. So I'll look at this on the screen. Righto. Hopefully you can see that, and you can see this is what I'm talking about, a blowhole right here. Right, and that's what, and we only had a little bit holding on, so that's what caused the break in the fire bar, and of course the continuous expansion and contraction doesn't help the situation. So the other 2 little bits of steel here are just to prop it up to get it where it needs to be in the right plane, so to speak, or the right level. This one here is just a piece of aluminium. Other one's a bit of steel. These things should be, I've got a flat bit of bar here to sit everything on, and that looks pretty good. This is the underside that we're looking at. So what happens is, when it's sitting in its cradle, it's sitting the other way around. It's normally sitting like this. The fire sits on top here, and these here create the little bit of gap for the air to come through. And so just, you might want to turn it down, as it's going to get a little bit loud, so we'll crank up the gas. You may be able to see that. You can see the moisture coming out of the steel. Steel, when it's cold, like a lot of things, soaks up moisture. So I'm gently warming it just to get that moisture out of it. We're starting to get a fair bit of heat in here now. We'll start applying. We'll get it so we can put a bit of flux on. The flux is the white stuff that you see on the rod. So that's going a lot better than what I actually thought. I've turned the heat down a little bit because I can still get plenty of heat in and get the bronze to melt in, as you can see. So I'm just heating up the whole thing so we get a nice even heat, don't get any cold spots. But that's definitely gone in a lot better than what I thought. We'll let that cool down slowly. We've still got more to go, but we need to flip this over and run a bit more in. Under there. Right, let's find some more. So far so good. And I'll go to my cupboard here, and here's something we prepared earlier. It's good to have little offcuts like this. No, that's not going to work. When I say little, there we go. A couple of bits of plate left over from another job. I'll bring you back in for a closer view, and that's just going to stack everything up. And I might just find another piece just to slip under there to give it a bit more support. Hence the reason why sometimes you hold on to your offcuts. There we go. So that's not actually touching anything. It's just going to give it support. So this is this blowholes I was talking about. There are various blowholes in this that have developed over time or when it was initially cast. So I'm going to fire things up again. I'm going to try and fill that hole in, and it's a suck it and see. And if not, we have another one ready to go to take its place if necessary. Right, cranking things up again. Flame on. Whoa, better get it away from the camera. So all I'm doing here, because we're zoomed in, is getting the flame right. And going by the previous time, now as we're heating things up, the flame is blowing out. Well, what's happening is the impurities in those blowholes are expanding and they're just blowing out. And that's what makes this stuff so difficult to weld, is the impurities in it. We'll heat up our other bits of steel here. Just get things warmed up again. So we've got our rod here. Once again, the flux helps facilitate the welding of the two surfaces. It helps clean everything. And I'll get that going in there and get that running around. See if we can get something to stick here. Even though there's no guarantee of this actually doing what I'm hoping it will do, we're looking pretty good here. Now there will be a lot of excess overrun, which I can see here. Going to be a bit of a delicate balance of trying to get it to flow in, but also stay and adhere to the surfaces. And the nozzle I'm using might be a little bit too big. That might be exaggerating the situation. I may be getting the heat concentrated in one place or another, or too much in one place or another. There you go. Here's the different setup. That's what it looks like. This should give us a little bit more control over what we're doing, and it's working out pretty well. Righto. These tips are a little bit on the noisy side, but probably a bit more controlling on the heat side. Still providing heat, but not going all over the place, not as big a tip, and therefore spreading the heat in unnecessary places. It will take a little bit longer to warm up, but so far so good. That's so much better. Right, so we're building that up nicely. Yeah, that's lovely. It's just flowing in there nicely. A couple of little areas that got to fill up. And just slowly working this in, building it up. It gets to a liquid stage, and then it starts to run, so I take the heat off. Otherwise it'll just run too far. Once again, I just let that cool a little bit, and we go back and we add in some more. But cast iron's good, it has its uses, but you know, after a lot of expansion and contraction, it just gets brittle. That looks a bit ugly, but it's got to be dressed up. I'll just warm these other bits here. Let that cool down all slowly. That's looking pretty good actually. Still warm, it's cooling down nicely. Right, I'll just explain what I'm doing. All I'm doing is grinding off the excess stuff that ran down the side. You can see there, see underneath. This has worked out really well actually. Righto, so the more I work this, the better it's getting. You can see that's starting to come up really nice. It's a little bit shabby obviously, but don't go too tight. So this round bar is just pushing against. We'll hang it out, same. Get that there like so. Once again, that we're putting the straight face up against the back jaw. That bit of round bar is just taking up the difference. Righto, let's shake off some of those brass shavings. Let's have a look at that. Right. Well, pretty well. That's pretty damn good. I'm quite happy with that. It's a little bit rough up top here, but if you have a look at the rest of it, it's rough up there too. In fact, I might just pop over. Aha, good. Righto, so the top bit looks a little bit dodgy, but all in all, now my lovely wife will be able to tell you how long she's waited for this. How long ago did this break? Probably at least a couple of years, because I'll get around to it. Yeah, I'll get around to it. How long did it take for this? When did this break, darling? What do you reckon? 2-3 years ago? Probably more. And I finally got round to doing it today. Yeah, we've had quite a bit of progress. About 2 years, yeah. But anyway, so that's fixed up, ready. Hopefully that's going to work. We'll put it in the wood stove and see if it's going to do the job. It actually worked out way better than what I thought. And of course, we've got a few other bits and pieces to do with, you know, bronze welding, brass, bronze welding, so that sort of thing. So this is absolutely good. I really very much happy with that. So here's an example, a better one.